Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Malone's Record Service Eric Tilson Show, where we cover everything on the Tundra with the North Greene Huskies. As always, I'm here with Huskies head coach Eric Tilson. Coach, good afternoon. It's starting to feel more like the Tundra outside now.
I finally can wear. It's my favorite time of year, so actually feels like a fall sport right now.
It does. It's I think in the 50s right now. I think on my dash it said it was 58 degrees coming down the road.
We're about to go out and practice, and I'm about to be excited. So
we really haven't felt that much this year.
I don't know. It's been hot.
Yeah, but I bet you're glad that it's getting cold all of a sudden.
Oh, except for my allergies, I can't breathe right now. So
the good thing is when it gets a little colder, those allergies go away.
I hope so.
So it looks like we might be in the clear going forward now, because looking at the weather, I don't know if it's supposed to get in the 80s anytime soon.
I sure hope not.
I don't know if it will. I sure hope not either, because those days are behind us, and I'm tired of it being hot in October and November. I don't want it to get too cold, though. I don't want it to be like 40, but
yeah, I'm starting to wonder if football's really a fall sport. It's almost a summer sport with the ending in the fall.
Depends on where you live, I guess. But here with Tennessee weather, I don't know if you can really call it a spring, summer, fall sport.
Well, we have about 14 seasons. So.
Yes, exactly. It's technically a fall sport because you play more weeks in the fall, but does it ever truly feel like a fall sport?
No.
It goes kind of straight from summer to winter in a way.
Well, then you hit Halloween, and then it's like winter.
Yeah. Because towards the night during the summer games, it starts to cool down a little bit, but then you get into like the 50s and you're all bundled up on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
But you had the bye week this past week. Like you mentioned, can't lose on a bye week.
You can lose on a bye week, but depends on how things go.
Just don't beat yourself. How'd your bye week go? Were you able to work on some of the things that you were wanting to work on last week?
We ended on a pretty good week of practice. We practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, gave the kids Friday off, which is good for coaches. We go out, go watch football, and so it's good for everybody. But we ended up on a pretty good week of practice, able to fine-tune some things and hone in on some stuff up front that we really needed to be doing, and starting to get a semblance of some sense of urgency with our kids right now. I think some of our older guys are starting to realize that their careers are coming to a close, and they are taking advantage of the short time that they have.
Because they don't have many weeks left. And when it gets down to the last 2 or 3, you start to realize this is all we've got left now.
Yep.
You've got 3 games left on your schedule.
And they can add another one with a
playoff
more
game.
wins. Yep. So,
but that's where the sense of urgency kind of comes into, knowing that you're not locked into a playoff spot yet. Because the last 2 years at this point, I think you had already locked in a playoff spot. So how much urgency is there from the younger guys? Because I know the older guys kind of feel it where they're not used to this situation yet. What are the younger guys' feelings at the moment?
Well, sometimes they don't quite understand it because they're just trying to figure out high school football. So that's where leadership needs to come from the older guys. Is like they need to instill that sense of urgency into our guys, and then just go out and go play. So if our older guys have that sense of urgency and they start to understand, I've only got a couple games left, but if we play well, we can keep playing. So they make sure that their teammates and their younger guys know that we got to go out and go play, because at some point this is about our team. It's not about each individual. So the seniors play because that's what the program needs, and then the younger guys play to aid those seniors and then aid the program. That's where you kind of hope all the culture comes into play.
Did you check out any football games on Friday night?
I watched a bunch from home.
Okay. So you didn't go out and go. You stayed dry at least.
I did stay dry. So I had NFHS pulled up, watched the grassroots game, kind of going back and forth, and all the coaches are in a chat room, and we just kind of go back and forth about what we're watching. There's a lot of craziness on Friday.
There was.
Yeah, it was a little wild.
What games did you check out on it?
Well, of course, the important one, Unaka, Hancock County. Watching that one, and then Happy Valley, South Greene. Watched a little bit of that. I watched a little bit of the Sullivan East Cherokee game.
Okay.
Because that was a tight ball game. So kind of going back and forth between all those. So my kids were out of town last week with my wife. Went to the in-laws, so they came back. So that Friday was the first day I really got to see them. So I was like, I'm gonna stay home with them and just watch football from there.
I mean, lucky for you, you got to stay dry and stay warm.
Yep.
A lot of us that went out and worked that night, we didn't have that same fortune. Because I went up to Carter County, and I don't think it stopped raining for 1 second.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah, and it was a muggy night, too. It did not feel good outside Friday night. So, luckily for you, you didn't have to endure that. You got to sit in the comfort of your own house, watch some football, and you had the comfort of switching between games, too. That's always nice.
That was nice. And then watched college football all day Saturday. Went to bed, got woken up in the middle of the night, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, USC Arizona's still playing. So I stayed up and watched that one. I was like, dang, I'm just turned into a thriller right now.
I did too.
I was like, I'd already been asleep for a few hours. Woke up, wait a minute, there's still football on.
I wanted to go to bed because I was so tired, but I wanted to see if Arizona would pull it off.
No doubt. That's a good conclusion to Pac-12 After Dark. So
it is.
There's going to be no more Pac-12 After Dark.
Is there not? Oh,
well,
not next year. Yeah, not next year.
Maybe the Pac-4.
Still don't know where they're going.
No clue.
Who are the four that haven't announced? Oregon State, Cal, Washington State.
I don't know who the next one is.
Is it Stanford, maybe?
Maybe.
I can't remember if they've announced they're going to the ACC or not. I think they might have, but I can't remember. No, Oregon, USC, UCLA, they're gone.
Right, so Stanford is on the Pacific Coast, and they're going to join the
Atlantic Coast Conference. Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Makes
a lot of
sense.
sense.
Perfect sense. That's college football.
They need to just change the whole landscape of college football. Just change the names of the conference. The Big Ten has 14 teams. The Big 12 has 10 teams.
You know, we can just turn it into the Hunger Games and be like District 1.
Yes. Because honestly, some of these names don't make sense anymore.
Oh, not
the big numbers.
Except the SEC, that still kind of makes sense.
That's the only one that does, but you're starting to branch out a little far. You're starting to branch out a little far. Yeah. But, did you watch any NFL?
I don't watch too much NFL.
No. There wasn't much NFL action going on. Not many exciting games anyway. Sunday night was a blowout. Tonight's not that exciting.
I'm a Packers fan, so they play tonight.
Sorry. I said tonight's not that exciting.
Well, they play Las Vegas, so I don't know how good Las Vegas is.
Not very good. I think both teams only have one win.
One of our coaches on staff is a Vegas fan, so I won't say much today.
Hey, the good news is one team's going to 2 wins tonight. That's the good news.
That is true.
It might not be the Packers, but one team is moving up to 2 wins. So that's something to be happy about. Another thing to be happy about, playing football on Friday.
We are.
You got Unaka coming up. We'll preview that after the break, but we need to go ahead and jump into that real quick. So we'll be right back in just a minute here on Grassroots Media.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts. The Davy Crockett Travel Center in Baileyton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Baileyton.
Tommy's Plumbing has provided professional plumbing services to the residents of Greeneville, Tennessee for over 30 years. Our experience and reputation have helped us grow our business to add locations in Jonesboro, Tennessee. Tommy's Plumbing is local and family owned, and we offer a full line of plumbing services, such as kitchen faucet, shower faucets, commodes, and bathroom faucets, as well as drain cleaning. We also provide outside plumbing work, such as septic and sewer drain cleanouts, as well as repair and replace. Tommy's Plumbing pretty much does it all. Tommy's Plumbing is licensed, bonded, and insured. Our quality workmanship and passion to provide our clients with expert service is second to none. We guarantee we have the best warranty around. For all your plumbing needs, give Tommy's a call at 638-3662.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Malone Record Service Eric Tilson Show, where we cover everything on the Tundra with the North Greene Huskies. As always, I'm here with Huskies head coach Eric Tilson. So you're playing football again Friday night. You've got Unaka here at home, another important regional matchup. You talked about the sense of urgency you have with the boys. Your playoff hopes are on the line in this matchup. Talk about what your expectations are going into Friday night.
We have to go out and go execute. Kind of mentioned before we started today, it's felt like we've only had one game this year that we've went out and just executed all 3 phases, and that's the big thing is it's more about us than it is anything. No matter who we line up against, we just need to go out and go execute. So that's where that sense of urgency needs to come in play. Friday night is have a good week of practice in a weird week because it is fall break, so schedule's a little bit off. Come out every day, handle that, and then come Friday, handle not having school, and then handle coming in, trying to get a normal pregame routine, and then go out and take care of business on Friday. And business comes down to we just need to go execute. Unaka's kind of one of those weird teams. They lost a ton of kids off there. One of the best, had the best team in school history last year. They lost a ton of kids off that team, so they've been trying to find identity, and they found it. And then they've had a couple gets hurt for the season, and then they've moved some kids around, and they have found how to score now again. So they got a real good quarterback. Moved a kid from receiver to quarterback. Really good athlete, and he's going to be the key to the game. Stop him, then we should be in a pretty good spot. But that's a lot easier said than done, because you can make a play breakdown, and he can find a way to hurt you pretty quickly. So we've got to find a way to stop him, and he throws the ball well enough to get the ball out to his receivers, and they can make some things happen out at wide out, and then their running backs run hard. So it's going to be the deal there. And then they're really aggressive defensively, so we've got to handle pressure. We've got to handle guys walking up all over the place and protect. So and we're going to be pretty simple this week. We've got some ways to be able to go attack them, and make sure that we just are able to go out and go execute. So sometimes as coaches, you can get a little complicated and try to put your team in the perfect schematic fit. We got everything drawn out perfectly, but that's exactly, it's drawn out perfectly.
You got to execute it perfectly.
And then you have to be able to go execute it. Well, sometimes execution requires kids have confidence in it. So we've kind of trimmed things down a little bit for this week to make sure that we're able to go out and really go execute what we need to. We have answers within what we have, but we need to be simple. That way we can go out and go execute 1,000 miles an hour. Because like I said, we did that Castlewood week. We were real simple that week, but our kids came out confident and were flying around 1,000 miles an hour, and that's what we need to get back to. Flying around and being confident, and back to having fun playing football, because it's fall now.
Yeah.
So don't get too many games like this. So especially important games late in the year, and as we were talking early in the season, kind of the point is, season's been disappointing so far, but we are playing important games in October. So that is a step in the right direction, playing important games right now, because at this point we hadn't done that. So we're playing important games right now. So this one's pretty daggone important. So it's pretty exciting to be able to play late in the year, playing an important game, and excited about it.
That's one thing that I was going to mention next that you touched on, was that I haven't watched Unaka play this year, but I've heard they're dealing with a lot of injuries. A lot of their players have been moved around a lot in different places. Are they going to run some of the same formations with those new lineups?
Yeah, they'll run some of the same stuff. They do line up in some stuff. The old Emery Hendry formation.
Okay, so you're used to that.
Yeah. So they line up some tackles out wide at receiver and kind of force you to line up. They scored a touchdown on that against Thomas Walker. I would recognize that one pretty quick. Then they line up in some tight end formations, but they're primarily a spread offense. One of the best designed offenses in terms of spread. Coach Bennett does a great job. I've known him since before I was at North Greene. He's in Knoxville area. He's a DB grad, so he's been around. He's coached some really good offenses. So in terms of offense, he's got a really good design, but with that offense, you need to have a signal caller back there that can do the job, and they've kind of struggled with that throughout the year, mainly because of injuries. And then having to put somebody back there hasn't done it before. It takes him a couple weeks, but the kid back there, he's pretty good. So we have to stop him. So we have to be ready for a very potent and explosive offense, and we've got to stop that defensively. And that's going to be the key: is our defense ready to step up and stop him.
One of the good things about a bye week that you always know about is you have the time to rest and heal up with injuries. We know that you've been dealing with some of that in the past. Can you expect to go into this game fully healthy in some capacity?
Some capacity. So we're still banged up. So unfortunately, we're dealing with minors. You can't go into any detail whatsoever. So I'm not going to do that. But we got some guys coming back. We got some guys who are working their way to come back. So, but that's part of it. Football is a violent sport, so injuries do happen. So this has been it kind of noticed it all over the place. There's been a lot of injuries this year, just across
every position, really,
everywhere. A lot of different schools have been dealing with the same issues. So I know the NFL's been dealing with it. College football's been dealing with it this year. We've been fortunate not to have any catastrophic injuries, but we've dealt with our share of just kind of minor aches and pains, and we've had a couple joint injuries so far, just injuries in piles and different stuff like that. So we got some guys coming back. We got some guys who are looking hopeful, but they're still kind of day-to-day basis right now.
What can you expect when you put your offense out on the field? What do you expect them to throw at you on defense, and what are some of the things that you see in their defense that you think you could pick apart?
Well, they're very aggressive within their box. They're a base, 3 down front, and they walk up linebackers like crazy. So if you're watching it from a schematic standpoint, you're going to see a 3-4. It's really a 3-3. But their third linebacker kind of backs up a little bit, what we call the rover. He kind of just roves around behind the front, and they'll walk up their 2 linebackers. Sometimes they'll put them on the same side, sometimes they won't. So very aggressive in the box. And then primarily they're going to be in cover 3. They actually turn their flat players, turn them out towards the sideline. So they're trying to push everything out towards the sideline. So they do give us some run lanes, because that's the thing with really aggressive defenses. We call it marching band defenses because at the end of the play, somebody's marching band's playing. So it's either defenses or offense, because it's so aggressive, because they make a big hit in the backfield. It's a loss, but they miss that, and all of a sudden there is nobody behind the defense, because everybody's so aggressive. And that's kind of the thing, like with blitzing. You blitz 6 or 7 man pressures, then you miss, it's a touchdown. So they're kind of like that defensively. They're really aggressive, so they do give us some opportunities to get the edge, because we do a good job at tight end and our tackles, be able to seal it. Then you'll see a lot of we'll get a lot of cheap yards in the passing game, because they just kind of give it to us. So a lot of times offenses aren't patient enough just to throw a 5-yard hitch over and over and over and over again. So if they give it to us, we'll take it. So but they're really aggressive. So
we've done about 30 of these now. I think you know what's coming next. Same question, end of every interview. What are your 3 keys of success that you need to carry out in order to pick up a win?
It's going to be effort. It's about us. At this point, we haven't played a team that's just been, minus the Williamsburg game, the team that's just flat out better. But we give effort and we go out and execute. We'll be successful. We have to tackle. Number 7's hard to tackle. Got to get him on the ground. We do that, we'll be successful defensively. And then at the end of the day, playmakers got to make plays.
As always. Playmakers always got to make plays. That's how you win ball games. Wanted to touch on it real quick also. Forgot to ask, what do the conference standings kind of look like, and what can the implications be if you win this game too?
Well, right now we're fighting for 3rd. So if we win out in the conference, we'll be
would be this week with Unaka and then last week with Cosby.
Yes. We'll be the 3 seed.
Okay.
Which is significantly better than the 4 seed.
Yes.
You avoid Coalfield. But so we're fighting for that. Pretty much the top 2 is pretty much solidified, minus something crazy happening.
Coalfield and Jellicoe.
Yeah,
Cloudland and Jellicoe in that order.
So, yeah, in that order, because Cloudland beat Jellicoe last Friday. And then everybody else is fighting for third right now, which there's about 3 teams right now. Us and Unaka are kind of sitting in that spot right now. Cosby hasn't won a conference game yet, so they're kind of out of it. Hancock still in the mix. So with teams left to play, Cloudland and Unaka have to play. Jellicoe, Hancock have to play each other, and then we play Unaka and we play Cosby. Yep.
All right, so that pretty much sums it up. This Friday on the Tundra, 7:30 kickoff
7:30,
time.
yep.
So if you're a North Greene fan, North Greene supporter, as always, come out to support the Huskies out here in Baileyton on the Tundra. It'll be a 7:30 kickoff. Coach, that's all I've got for you this week.
Yep.
Have a fun rest of fall break.
We are going to have a special presentation for the game. We're going to honor our new career rushing leader, Yeshua Mall.
Awesome.
So we're going to bring back out the old rushing leader, and which is his uncle, and be able to kind of pass off that torch. So we're going to do that before the game, kind of honor that. So had homecoming last week, didn't want to mess with all that, and then because there'd been a lot of upset girls if we try to do all that. So, but we're going to honor those guys this week.
That's awesome. So get out there soon enough to see that also. That's all we've got this week, though. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Malone Record Service Eric Tilson Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.